All right, we'll look left, look right, looks clear right, clear left, make our call. Brunswick 082, departing runway 1, Brunswick. Now with the crosswind coming in, I'll do full left aileron. Start here.
Yeah, there's two techniques. Some people start off with full left aileron and bleed aileron out.
Yeah.
And other people start with a little in and then add more as needed.
Okay.
I'm typically a fan of starting with some and add more if needed.
Okay.
It feels awkward to me to have it all the way like this to start with, so I usually start about here.
Okay.
Just judge it.
Traffic, November 8622 Charlie, about 12 miles southwest of the field. I'll be landing 01.
Pick that right rudder out a little bit. Nice recovery. Get us back to center line as soon as possible.
Yeah.
A couple of the things that once you come to a full stop we can talk about. Did you let them know it was full stop?
I did, yeah.
Okay, great. Sitting here listening to myself talk, not listen to you. Okay, so nice job. A couple of the things that I saw that you could do is that when we took off, you said starting your crosswind turn.
Yeah.
So call the 750. So mentally, you're thinking it all the time. It's
Okay.
just you know, something else to be, okay, that's what I'm looking for, not just turn. I'm looking for 750, so it's implanted in your head every time.
Okay.
And then as soon as you turn downwind, instead of relaxing, which you did a great job of recovering from 1,000, you know, and then coming back to 1,100, is don't relax so that when you hit midfield, you're right on doing that before landing check. Instead of, it got a little bit past, not a lot.
And then I got backed up into my...
You got a little bit backed up, and so if you don't relax and you start, as soon as you go downwind, be thinking about that next step.
Okay.
That's great. The one thing I saw when you came in and landed, you did a beautiful job recovering there, is because we're crabbed to the left a little bit, and right as we touch down, we don't want to land in a crab. We have to kick that over.
Okay.
The closer to the ground you can kick it over, the less you're going to drift to the right like you saw.
I felt I kicked it early, and that's kind of why I was...
But the other thing you can do is actually come in and compensate and realize I'm going to need to line up a little bit to the left.
Okay.
So that when I do kick that over, I end up being dead center on the runway.
Okay.
Okay, so this next time around, when you come in, compensate and think, okay, maybe I'll be just a few feet left of center line, so that when I kick over and kick that right out to line straight down the runway, I actually end up in the middle instead of off to the side.
Got it.
Power back. Beautiful. Compensated a little bit too much to the left, but I'll take it. Pretty nice.
Yeah, I almost feel like...
Let them know it's a stop and go.
Brunswick 082, stop and go, runway 1, Brunswick.
You didn't have quite as much crosswind that time.
Yeah.
You can tell by the yaw. So one of the things you can do is when you set up, if the aircraft is yawed, without having to do any correction, you kind of get a sense of how much the wind is blowing.
Okay.
And how much you're going to have to hold it there. So, the more it's yawed, the further off to the side you might want to set up. But as you saw, you didn't have to do much, then you could still aim a little more of the center line. It's all just fine tuning.
And coming down at an angle like that, that's more advantageous with the crosswind to kind of get it down? Or?
Well, you were keeping your airspeed up. You do a really nice job on your rollout and holding it there really close to the runway and sitting it down really soft. So you've got that rotation under really nice control. So that's, for you, what you did is really pretty good coming steep. You could have pulled the power back much sooner.
Yeah, come down.
And you would have hit right on, you would have landed perfectly right on the end of the blocks where you were aiming.
Okay.
And even though you were at 1,500, you could have pulled it back to the 1,000 once you had the runway made, because you had enough angle and you had plenty of airspeed to be able to just get it down and then bleed it off really close to the runway. Okay. But all in all, really nice job, especially with the winds that we're dealing with here. So let's do it again.
All right. 1 notch of flaps, fuel pumps on, carb heat comes off.
So the one thing we want to remember is we want to hold it down. Do not let it come off the ground above 75 with this gusting.
Okay.
Because I noticed it came up and then you had to put the nose down, and we just kind of hung there close to the ground, and we're vulnerable because of the winds and everything in that stage. So if you hold it a little bit further, you'll climb through it a whole lot better. So okay.
All right.
Let them know.
Brunswick 082, stop and go, runway 1, Brunswick.
Okay, the other thing that we can do, you've got these gusts. One of the things you might want to consider is not landing with 2 notches of flaps.
Okay, all right.
Because you don't get as much lift. It'll be a little more firm whenever you come in.
Yeah.
So this next time around, let's actually just land with 1 notch of flaps and see how that affects you.
Okay.
But be prepared. You've got it down to where you're coming in fairly steep and you're rotating and it's really coming down, and realize you're probably not going to get quite the float. So you're just going to have to kind of judge what that's going to be.
Okay. All right.
But it's a good thing to consider with gusts. Sometimes you even land with no flaps and just land, especially with a long runway.
Yeah.
You might come in and just land and put it on the ground firmly so that you then get the directional control of the nose wheel and the main.
Okay.
Okay.
Check the weather one more time.
Sure.